Assalamu alaikum friends. I hope you are all doing well.
Hazrat Adam Alayhis Salam was the first human on earth and the first prophet of Islam. Towards the end of his era, as the human population increased, Shirk, or polytheism, superstition and false beliefs gradually began to spread among people. Leaving the worship of the one Allah, people leaned towards various imaginary deities. To bring this misguided human race back to the right path, Allah Almighty sent Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam as a prophet and messenger. But unfortunately, the majority of people at that time rejected him. Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam was the 8th or 10th descendant of Hazrat Adam Alayhis Salam. He was the first messenger on earth and is also referred to as the second father of mankind. Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam had 4 sons, Sam, Ham, Yafith, and Yem, or Canaan. Among them, the first 3 accepted the faith, but Yem remained in a state of disbelief and later died by drowning in the Great Flood. Only a handful of people from his nation accepted the faith at Nuh's invitation, and they were the ones who boarded the ark during the Great Flood and received salvation from Allah. Throughout the ages, Allah Almighty sent every prophet and messenger with some miracle or supernatural sign.
In the life of every prophet, there are amazing stories and lessons.
In the case of Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam, although the Holy Quran does not separately describe many different miracles, his life is surrounded by history's most terrifying and miraculous event, the event of the Great Flood. After the arrival of Hazrat Adam Alayhis Salam on earth, initially there was not much existence of shirk and kufr among humans. People were then busy with cultivating the earth, hard work, and human activities. With the passage of time, shirk and kufr gradually entered human hearts. Abandoning the monotheism of the one Allah, people started worshipping various objects, graves, and human statues. This false belief spread widely, especially from among the nation of Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam. People created statues of imaginary deities named Wad, Suwa, Yaguth, and others, and began worshipping them. Over time, the influence of this idol worship also spread among the Arabs. The nation of Nuh Alayhis Salam was not only involved in shirk, but they were also immersed in various social corruptions and injustices. Allah Almighty sent Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam to bring this misguided nation back to the right path. Many verses have been revealed in the Holy Quran regarding this matter. Allah Almighty has destroyed many nations throughout the ages due to their sins. However, before destruction, He has always sent warnings. Just like that, Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam warned his nation,
O my people, I am a clear warner to you. Worship Allah, fear Him, and obey me.
Then Allah will forgive your sins and grant you respite for a specified term. But when the time appointed by Allah arrives, no further opportunity will be given. Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam continued to invite people to the oneness of Allah day and night, both publicly and secretly, using various metaphors. He tried to make people understand by reminding them of the countless blessings of Allah Almighty. But the result of his invitation was extremely disappointing. Hearing his words, people would run away, put their fingers in their ears, abuse him in unspeakable language, and mock him. At one point, the tribal leaders called the common people and announced,
You must not deviate even an inch from the path shown by your ancestors. Remain steadfast in their religion.
Then they started conspiring against Nuh Alayhis Salam and raised various accusations. They began saying,
You are just a human being like us. If you were a prophet, you would have been an angel. Your followers are lowly and dim-witted people of society. Your intention is actually to gain power. and the message you are preaching goes against the religion of our forefathers. Therefore, you are a liar.
The tribal leaders began to incite the common people against Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam by spreading propaganda in various ways. Even though they misled the people, Nuh Alayhis Salam continued to answer all their objections with patience and wisdom. He said,
O my people, even if I have clear proof from the Lord of the worlds, if you do not listen to me, I cannot force anything upon you. And if a poor and helpless person responds to my call, I can never turn him away. If I do that, I must surely be accountable to my Lord. I do not ask for any wealth, power, or worldly interest from you in exchange for my invitation. My reward is with Allah alone.
even after receiving so much reproach, condemnation, and contempt from people, Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam did not stop preaching. He went from one person to another in the hope that perhaps the next person would accept the truth. In this way, he continued to invite his people to the path of Allah for over 900 years, but they rejected his invitation with mockery and disdain. Once, the tribe of people threatened him, saying,
"If you do not stop preaching, we will stone you and crush your head."
Even after this terrible threat, Nuh Alayhis Salam did not stop preaching. Instead, he kept praying to Allah for the guidance of his people. But the reluctance, contempt, arrogance, and oppression of his community continued to increase day by day. At one stage, their sins reached the extreme limit. Over this long period, only 70 to 82 people believed in Allah. Finally, Allah Almighty informed Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam, "Apart from those who have already believed, no one else will believe in your call." Hearing this news, Nuh Alayhis Salam prayed to Allah in deep sorrow.
"O my Lord, help me. They have treated me as a liar."
You make a final judgment regarding this nation and save the believers. Then he made a final prayer against his people.
Allah Almighty accepted his prayer and informed him of a clear sign. He said, "The day you see water gushing forth from the oven, know that the great flood has begun." And even before the flood started, Allah Almighty commanded him to build a huge boat or ark, so that he and the believers could be saved from that terrible punishment.
According to Allah's command, Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam started building the ark and informed the people about the flood. But they began to mock him even more. They said,
"There is no water anywhere here. How will there be a flood in this desert?"
Finally, Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam completed the construction of the ark. According to various accounts, the ark was about 300 yards long, 50 yards wide, and 30 yards high, and it had 3 levels. Animals and birds were on the bottom deck, men were on the middle deck, and women were on the upper deck. There were many windows on both sides of the ark. Before Hazrat Nuh, people had never even seen a boat. Allah Almighty had specially granted him the knowledge to build this ark, which was a great miracle for him. It was because of this miraculous knowledge and Allah's help that he and the believers were able to be saved from Allah's terrible punishment, the Great Flood. Therefore, it can be undoubtedly said that building the ark and being saved from the Great Flood is a unique and special miracle in the life of Hazrat Nuh. When Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam completed the construction of his ark, people from the disbelieving community came in groups and began to insult the ark. They defecated inside the ark and made it dirty. Seeing this sight, Hazrat Nuh Alayhis Salam became extremely saddened. Then Allah Almighty comforted him, saying, "Do not worry." During this incident, the last person to enter the ark was an old woman suffering from leprosy. While going to defecate inside the ark, she suddenly fell into it. A short while later, she stood up, looked at her body, and was amazed to see there was no sign of leprosy left on her body. Instead, she had become as healthy and fresh as a 16-year-old young woman. This was also a strange and amazing miraculous event. Through this incident, Allah Almighty intended to have the ark cleaned by the disbelievers themselves. When this news spread, people came in droves and cleaned the filth from the ark, taking it away. Those who didn't find any filth even washed the ark and took that water. In this way, the ark became completely clean, not a speck of filth remained. Then, on the appointed day, water suddenly started gushing up from the oven. Hazrat Nuh, Alayhis Salam, understood. This was the beginning of the great flood. According to Allah's command, he took a pair of every animal and everyone who had believed onto the ark. At that time, his son, Canaan, Yam, wanted to board the ark, but he had not believed. Allah Almighty warned Nuh alayhi salam if he were taken onto the ark, his name would be removed from the responsibility of prophethood. Finally, the great flood began. The terrible flood continued for 40 consecutive days. This flood was so intense that a vast portion of the earth went underwater. In this great flood, all the disbelieving and polytheistic communities of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam's era drowned and died. But the great Lord of the worlds kept Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam and the small number of believing servants completely safe and alive through that ark.
Surviving amidst such a terrible punishment was undoubtedly an amazing, miraculous event in the life of Nuh alayhi salam and his followers.
Allah Almighty miraculously kept them safe during this difficult time for 40 consecutive days without facing any suffering, fear, or pain. This was also a great miraculous sign. After the flood ended, the entire earth was submerged in water. Then when Allah Almighty brought an end to that flood, He miraculously restored the beauty of the earth. After the flood, human life began anew on earth through the believing men and women who were on the ark with Nuh alayhi salam. He guided them on the path of truth. This is why Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam is called the second father of mankind. Populating the earth anew with believing people was also a great miraculous aspect of his life, which was not possible without Allah's help. One of the special miracles of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam was his long life. He lived for about 950 years, and he spent this long time with the sole goal of inviting people to the path of Allah. The name of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam has been mentioned 43 times in the Holy Quran, which is clear proof of his importance and status. Thus, the life of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam was a unique example of patience, sacrifice, preaching, and miraculous events. According to the description in the Holy Quran, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam stayed among his people for about 950 years, inviting people to the right path. Although he called people to the worship of one Allah for this long time, the majority of his nation rejected him. On the other hand, it is found in various narrations that Hazrat Adam alayhi salam lived for about 960 years. This long life of Hazrat Adam and Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam was a special grace of Allah Almighty and a great miracle of their lives. Even after receiving such a long life, they did not indulge in worldly pleasures. Rather, they dedicated their lives to preaching the religion of Allah and guiding mankind to the right path.
May Allah Almighty grant us all true guidance through the mediation of all the prophets and messengers. Keep us steadfast in faith and grant us the ability to walk on the path of truth. Ameen. Respected viewers, please be sure to let us know in the comments how you liked the video. And everyone, please stay with us. That is all for today. Stay well, stay healthy. Allah Hafiz.